Uh, what's up? Damn, I don't got a stationary place for like my phone, so I gotta like be creative on where I station my phone so that I could shoot videos. I got a lot of things I want to talk about. Hey, ignore this. Just ignore it. Anyway, I was gonna talk about. I was stuck on. Either I was gonna talk about how artists, how the whole world finesses the artists. In this case, a hip hop artist. The whole world is designed to like finesse and exploit the hip hop artists, even though the people that exploit the artists would not exist if not for the artists. So those things they thrive because the artist doesn't understand the power that they have, that the artist has. The artist is very powerful, but because the artist doesn't realize it, they get exploited. Like a bull in a pen, the bull doesn't realize his strength. Anyway, I was gonna talk about that, or I was gonna talk about how young people, how their youth is their weakness, and how other people uses their youth to exploit them. This is something that I've come to conclude recently. Actually, for a while, but recently is when I really like try to find a way to like communicate it somehow. But I've been aware of it, and this is something probably that people, something that people won't understand because they're there, and it's a difficult thing for me to explain. Like I have an understanding of things that are very complex, but for me to like talk about it, it's very difficult. I really gotta like really put my thoughts into it and try to explain it in the best way possible, and it's difficult. Like my brain moves faster than my mouth. Like it's very hard to explain. So I'm gonna discuss that. So young people, and when I say young, I'm talking about teenagers and young adults. But this is more for young adults from like their early 20s to early 30s. Young adults. Now, young adults, we graduated from being teenagers. The teenage era being a very confusing era, in an era of a lot of adoration. A lot of, you look up to people that, wow, there's a really nasty cloud over there. It looks like a tornado cloud, and it looks scary. Look. I could be wrong, but it looks very intimidating. Anyway, it looks very intimidating. Anyway, um, when you're a teenager, you're very easily impressionable. You kind of worship, different people, like famous people, whatever. And you get older, you mature somewhat, but some of those things still linger, right? And then those things gradually slow down, you know, as you get older until it's at a level that is actually healthy, you know, it's a balanced level. But the best thing that you could do is to not have it at all. Don't idolize anybody. Idolize God. If you're not gonna idolize God, then you know it's better for you to idolize yourself than for you to idolize, you know, another human being. That's my advice. But you know, as a young adult, you're still the curiosity aspect is still there. You still have youth. What are some qualities of youth? Youth contains curiosity. A youthful person is very curious, very inquisitive. A youthful person is very open to like trying different things. You know, youth has an adventurous quality to it. And adventure and curiosity, they go together. And young people are kind of trusting. A youthful person is kind of naive in some ways, you know. It probably comes from the fact that as a teenager, you know, people have a lot of adoration. People idolize other people, and you know, for you to idolize somebody, that means you gotta really trust them. So that part of being young, that aspect of youth is still there. That naive tendency. So and youthful people are very passionate about something. Once they focus on something, they go all in. But youthful people are also very scattered. They're very scattered. Scattered minded. I can tell you that I used to be very scattered minded. I had to physically force organizational techniques to get rid of that. Not to get rid of that, but to control it. I still have to like control it. So young people are very messy out in here. There's a lot going on. Probably because of the adventurous aspect, you know. Young people have a messy, scattered minded, you know. As passionate as they are about one thing, they are scattered. And young people are easily entertained, you know. And because you're easily entertained, you're easily distracted by anything. You know, young people, because of their strong weakness for entertainment, they also have an addiction for it, you know, for entertainment. Young people are very preoccupied with being entertained. It's a fix. It's an addiction, you know. Young people have all these qualities. So I just gave you a breakdown of what youth is. Anybody can be youthful, but youth is mostly for young adults, obviously. But older people can still preserve their youthfulness. And when you do, it reflects in your appearance. I'm 31, but I look younger than that. Some people think I'm 21. nobody thinks I'm older than 31. So now people know this, like either they're consciously and maliciously aware of it, or they didn't really think in detail like I did, but they know, they know it nevertheless. There's people that are out there to take advantage of a person's youth. And these people are gurus, like the internet gurus. They call themselves experts in one subject. They call themselves like the voice or the authority of whatever subject it is. And that object usually attracts a young crowd. And then they'll use different tactics, they use different antics to draw in the young people and to impress them. And then they're able to make money and exploit those young people. So, for example, the pickup community, it attracts young people that are horny and want to be able to pick up women and seduce women. You have pickup artists. Some are legit. Maybe none of them are legit, to be honest. I don't know. I never like hung out with one. But maybe there's some legit people in that community, but there's definitely a lot of con artists. So these are people that they're gonna attract young people and they're gonna exploit their youthfulness. A lot of these people are gonna be brazen talkers. They're gonna say that they have more girlfriends than they actually do. They're gonna say that they've been with more women than they actually have. They'll do these things that will tap into the young person's tendency to idolize. So they'll create people, they'll cause young people to idolize them, and they're gonna gain that young person's trust, and they're gonna appeal to that person's desire for adventure. They're gonna promise those same things for that individual, the same adventures, and they're also gonna promise they're also gonna entertain them, distract them. They're gonna provide entertainment, and they're gonna boost that young person's ego, because young people have egos, boys and girls, and they're very their egos are very valuable to them. Young people have they put a lot of value on their ego. Their energy is focused a lot on social approval. Even people that are introverts or people that are antisocial, young people, deep inside, they crave social acceptance. They do. They act like they don't, but they do. Even nerds, they have their own community of other nerds that they want to appeal to. It's like that for young people. So these pickup artists, they'll do all those things for $97 a month, and then they basically exploit a person's youthfulness. Different affiliate marketing and different like online make money online guys, trading guys, is the same thing, and it usually targets men. These things usually target men. It's mostly young males. You have all these people exploiting the youth of a person. But women also have their own version of that. You have different like makeup artists. You have the women gurus. You have the women influencers. You have different things like that appeal to women. Usually in the fashion and beauty world, it's kind of like the same thing, but for women, for young girls. You have these feminist groups that try to appeal to young girls. They know that, young girls don't really understand. Young adult women don't understand how how men function. Young women have a lot of ego. A lot of young women have strong ego, and young women are usually experiencing heartbreaks. So feminism targets women like that and converts them. You know what I mean? Just like the pickup community, targets young men who have been rejected by women or who have been hurt by women, and they drill in, certain stereotypes about women, or whatever. They appeal to the man's heartbreak. So you have that dynamic going on. I don't believe that all of it is that. There's not all that pickup community does, but there's a niche. There's a certain subgroup in that community that that targets that. So different areas, different people will position themselves as mentors of young people so that they can exploit the young person, either financially, sexually, or mentally. Like, you know what I mean? Churches have youth groups. Religions have youth groups, and these youth groups are created. A leader is established so that that leader can guide young people, to fit their agenda, whether it's good or bad. That's not the point here. I'm just saying, like, this is how it happens. There's a youthful person, and there's someone that wants to exploit that individual. That person will either try to exploit them financially through membership fees or some kind of investment. That person will position themselves as a guide, as a mentor for financial gain. Or that person will establish himself as a mentor, as somebody that's trustworthy, and try to mold that relationship towards something sexual. Either an older male trying to brainwash a young woman, and they can go from extreme, like we're talking about pedophilia, or maybe all the way to like pimping, to like something as simple, something more, something that's not as bad. Like, for example, a older rich man, trying to seduce a young adult woman, which is okay. But still, that's an example of somebody positioning themselves as an authority figure, as a guide, in order to exploit somebody, in this instance sexually. And then you have people that have that want to recruit a young person for their cause, so that's mentally. Um, Different groups, from military groups to like spiritual groups, any kind of groups. There's always an older figure that's there to exploit the person's youth. You know what I'm saying? And what is youth? Youth are those qualities that I presented. A young person's vulnerability, a young person's willingness to trust, a young person's ego, a young person's weakness for adventure, for entertainment. Let's go to a bigger picture. And you have the whole world providing distractions, food, social media. Young people have a big weakness for social media, including myself. I'm young still. People will literally spend all day like on memes and YouTube and video games. Video games is a serious epidemic. People are extremely addicted to video games, and it does no good at all. Those things are just distractions. I learned recently that successful people, the most successful people, not all successful people, but the most successful people, they stick to one thing and one thing only, and that's that. They don't jump from niche to niche. They don't go from one guru to another guru. They pick one thing and they stick to it, and that's what they do. Michael Jordan chose basketball, gave his life to basketball. When he tried baseball, he was fucking up, because that was not his lane. Basketball is what he devoted himself to. Kobe, same thing. Neymar, Pele, like these people, Jeff Bezos, Amazon, Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook, one thing. Most young people don't have that kind of discipline to stick to one thing. They want to try different things. It's the adventure thing that I'm talking about. It's the adventurous spirit. They jump from niche to niche. And the people that are in a predatory position, they know that. So young people go for shiny objects, this shiny object, that shiny object. And that's just what it is the danger of being youthful. The dangers of youth. Youth is an enemy and a blessing as well. But youth can be a person's enemy. Lost my train of thought. So what can a person do? Like, should a person get rid of the youthful spirit and then just age and look nasty and old and disgusting and no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying just be aware of those things. You can maintain your youth, but we can all just try to have a little more discipline. Instead of going from place to place, make the sacrifice and pick the best place that you can for you. Get a piece of paper and write 60 different jobs that interest you. 60 careers that interest you. 60. Just whatever sounds good to you. No specific order. You want to be a zoologist, a biologist, veterinarian. You want to be like Steve Irwin, and you want to be these people that like National Geographic type people, Do you want to be a music producer? Do you want to be a stock trader, a lawyer? What is it that you want? What do you want? Get a piece of paper and write 60 things that interest you. Like if there was no such thing as money, or if all those jobs paid the same amount of money, if every job paid you $1 million a week, which jobs would you want? Get a sheet of paper and write 60 jobs that interest you. And then look at the piece of paper and analyze it. You're going to see that a lot of those jobs have things in common. Maybe those jobs require, cameras. Maybe those jobs have a lot to do with animals. Maybe those jobs involve, you being by yourself a lot, or you being in a team environment. Maybe those jobs put you in the leadership position. Maybe those jobs, the majority of them, like, what a coincidence. A lot of them involve writing. You'll see things, you'll see patterns, you'll see what those things have in common, and you have a better understanding of, what you're naturally gravitating to. And then once you know those things, you pick the thing that you want and you stick to it and you persist. That's not easy. The proof that it's not easy is because I'm giving you this advice and I'm not following it yet. I'm still juggling here and there. But that's not the way to do it. And I learned this recently. I didn't learn this recently, but I had to accept it recently. You pick one thing and you stick with it. The other thing that you have to do is to have good time management. I've been fighting for years to have good time management, and I perfected little by little, mastering as much as I could time management, and I have a great understanding of time management. And the problem was not having the discipline to stick to the time management. So you need time management skills, and you need the discipline to actually follow through with the time management. Don't be so impulsive. Don't be so spontaneous. Yes, those qualities are seductive. Women love those qualities. Women love it when a man is spontaneous or impulsive, like in a sexual way. Those things are good. You could be like that, but there's a time and a place for it. But throughout your life, you should not be impulsive. You should have really a great deal of self-control. Young people have a hard time having self-control. You need to get those impulses in check. You know what I mean? You gotta be able to control yourself. That's where maturity comes in. You could be mature and still be youthful, and still invoke the other qualities of youth that are attractive, like beauty, like those same qualities I mentioned, the adventurers, the willingness to explore, those things. You can still have those skills, but you just need to transmute them properly. So you need to have time management. You need to be cheap with your time. Don't be cheap with your money. Like fucking, if you want that fucking coffee, buy it, bro. Like if spending money is a problem to you, you're not making enough money then. If you can't treat yourself, life is short. Yes, manage your money, budget, but don't be cheap. There's a difference between you can afford something or you have this money. The being cheap is nasty. Like, you don't have to be cheap with your money, but you have to be cheap with your time. Your time is valuable. You have to be cheap with time. And I'm really like, I've known this and I've ignored it, but it's really like smacking me in the face with it now. Like time is so valuable and you got to be cheap with it. If you lose money, you can always make money. If you're worried about being cheap with your money, you don't want to buy this shirt because it costs whatever. If you go and buy the shirt anyway, a few days later, a few weeks later, a few months later, a few years later, doesn't matter. At some point, you're gonna have that same amount of money again. Time does not come back. Time does not come back. Time is ticking, and at some point, you're gonna die. So, time is a finite resource. So you have to be cheap with your time, and this is why I keep saying, you gotta know what stick to one thing, because life is short. You're doing too many things. You just like spending more time, more energy. You're spreading yourself thin. Do one thing, focus all your effort in it, and the more you focus on that, the more you practice, the faster you'll succeed on that path that you chose. And you're just better that way. It's simplistic. Look at that video that I released earlier. Make everything one page. In one page you should know what you should be doing. Not a fucking 10-page list of things that you want. No, one thing. Create time management. Like, be cheap with your time. That means that you got to schedule everything. What are you going to do tomorrow at 11:30? What are you going to do on Thursday at noon? On the 15th of March, what are you going to do? Have everything planned out. I carry a notebook, and I have all my time management in it. Look. Sunday the 27th, I have my plans, all that. Like I got, you need to do something like that, but you also need the discipline to follow through and do them. Another thing, don't idolize people like that. People out there to make money. Artists, they make music. Their job is to make you like their music so that they can make money. Actors, they act in movies and they try to entertain you so that they can make money. You know what I mean? Everybody is not like, you should idolize somebody who is giving themselves to you and don't want nothing back. You liking a basketball player, he's living his life. He's having fun playing basketball. And you idolizing that guy because you wish you were living that reality. You wish that you were the one doing it. And it's like, that person doesn't deserve your adoration. Now, nobody deserves your adoration, really. Unless nobody deserves adoration except God. Period. But close to God, your parents, like, you should love your parents with that same excitement that you love LeBron James and Jay-Z and Drake. Like they are there for you and they don't want nothing back. All they want from you is you. If you're in a relationship, like, a man should be with a woman that adores him. Like, a man, like, you with a woman because she's sexy or whatever, or she cooks for you, or she gives you good head, like, that's cool and all. But I mean, how does she feel about you though? She does those things, but how does she feel about you though? If she loves you like that, and no money, not because of money or whatever, you should adore that chick. Girls, if you got a man that really love you and shit, and he's like honest with you, and he's does his shit as a man does, he takes care of you, he provides for you, he gives you sexual and mental stimulation, you know what I'm saying? And like, if you fuck up, he checks you, and you like being checked because women like being checked. You could lie all you want, but I know the truth. And he's a real motherfucking man, and he protects you. You know that he'll die for you. And he's actually loyal to you. You should adore that man. And you should be submissive to him and do whatever he wants, because a man like that is rare. Most men are not really men, they're cowards. If you gotta cheat on a woman, you're like the coward of all cowards, because why are you fucking scared of a woman? Why do you have to, pretend? Just tell the woman that you want to be with different women, and you don't have the willpower to suppress it. You know what I mean? Like keep it real with her. And if she don't want you, then it's not meant to be. You understand? And then you can still have your way. You can still be with different women. Don't fucking be with a girl and then cheat on her, act like you're loyal to her, but you're really not. You're a fucking coward, man. So, yeah, and have integrity. Of course, I shouldn't have to say this, but young people, have integrity. Have time management skills. Have the discipline to follow through. Pick one thing and stick with it. If you don't know what you want in life, which a lot of young people don't know because of their adventurous spirit, make a list. Make a list. The things that you want to do, make a whole list. Find out what those things have in common, and you're going to dissect exactly what you're supposed to do. You want to travel to so many places. Make a whole list. See what those places have in common. Dissect it. Or just pick one place and go there. You understand? Like, life is not that complicated. So, and most importantly, well, not most importantly, but don't idolize people. Idolize yourself. Idolize your family. Idolize yourself. You're more interesting. You should be more interesting to you than LeBron James, than whatever. Because you're inside of your skin. You're inside of you. You should love yourself. You should adore yourself as much as you adore celebrities. But you should not adore anybody, including yourself, more than God. Bam. So that's exactly what I want to say. Don't idolize people, and besides idolizing people, not idolizing people, keep your eyes open on the people that are trying to exploit your youth. There's people out there older than you that look at you and they already know, okay, this guy is young. This girl is young. Let me influence this person. Let me whisper in that person's ear and manipulate that person to do something that I want. In the workplace, this happens a lot. You get somebody that gossips, says something in your ear, and then influences you to do something that you would otherwise not do by your own device. Keep your eye on that. There's people that want to exploit your youth. Your own family want to exploit your youth. A lot of y'all have parents that are finessing you. Y'all got parents that are fucking taking money from you. Your dad died. You inherited this wealth, but your mom is stealing your money. And you letting it slide because it's your mom or your dad. There's people out there exploiting your youth. Don't be fucking stupid. Don't be impulsive. Don't go around fucking girls and shit and then getting girls pregnant and y'all both can't raise the baby properly. Stop playing video games all motherfucking day. You don't need to be in the club every week drinking, getting drunk, even though I did that. But you don't have to do that. You don't have to smoke weed all day long, every day. Like, have some fucking balance. Put your impulses in check. Get your addictions in check. Recognize that you have a weakness for distractions, for entertainment. Schedule those entertainments. I'm not saying don't do them, but set a time aside for it, because life is short. You do need to entertain yourself, but you don't need to entertain yourself all day long, all the time. Focus on your goal first. Business first. Entertainment's second. Don't be so trusting. Stop trusting everybody. Yes, don't look down on people. Yes, count on people to be good, but know human nature. Know that people make mistakes. Know that people have put themselves first before you. Don't be so trusting. Have a little bit, you guys think I have a God complex. I don't, bro. I don't have a God complex. I just believe in myself. I don't need no fucking guru or a guide. I listen to different people, but I don't attach myself to somebody and let that person be my cult leader. I don't have a cult leader. I make my own decisions. I draw my own conclusions. I experiment with different things myself, which again is a problem, because that's the youth, the young person's tendency to gravitate to adventure. You don't gotta be like that. Be fucking smart. There's people out there that want to position themselves as your guide, so that they can exploit you financially, so that they can exploit you sexually. Yes, even guys. There's people out there that want to position themselves as your guide in order to exploit you mentally, to influence you, to manipulate you, to use you as their pawn, to take your hands and put your hand on the fire, or they want to take your hand and make you do their dirty work for them. Just because you're young, you don't have to be stupid. So next video, I'm going to talk about how the whole world is designed to finesse the artist, and what you as an artist should be aware of. A video just like this, but a different subject. So let me know what you think about this video. All right? One love.